So what you'll see for the most part, and to be honest, I would bet money that you'll see it on almost every single one of your hamstring graft patients, and even ones that are 7, 8, 9 months down the line if they haven't been addressed properly. In this video, I'm going to be talking about a common compensation that you will see that you really don't kind of understand unless you kind of really pay attention to it. It's something that I've started to pay attention to more these past year to year and a half or so as I've started to learn more and more about ACL Rehab. And this compensation is specifically talking about the hamstring graft. And we know that for the most part, you're using the semitendinosus, which is that kind of tendon along the inside of your knee if you kind of palpate or touch that area on the inside of the knee. So we know that if they take that tendon and they kind of cut into it and use it to replace the ACL, that area is going to be significantly weaker. So what you'll see for the most part, and to be honest, I would bet money that you'll see it on almost every single one of your hamstring graft patients, and even ones that are 7, 8, 9 months down the line if they haven't been addressed properly, is that what you'll see is that their foot will externally rotate. So you think that if the semitendinosus is on the inside of the knee, their foot is going to want to turn outward in order to take pressure off of that hamstring. And I say it all the time, and I explain it to my patients, that your body wants to figure out the path of least resistance when you're in ACL rehab. It wants to figure out a way to make every single exercise just a little bit easier in order to take stress off the area that you're trying to target. And again, for the hamstring exercise, you're trying to target the hamstrings. So even if I've broken it down before for the single leg bridge, is that you'll find that the people, as a basic, single leg hamstring exercise, their foot will start to externally rotate when they're doing a bridge. This will continue to be kind of shown for other hamstring exercises. Let's say you want to start with a prone hamstring curl to your manual resistance. You'll find that when you're resisting them, they'll want to externally rotate. So a lot of times this requires a lot of cueing and, to be honest, some focus from the athlete to tell them like, hey, I want you to try and keep your foot straight. In order to kind of really target that inside hamstring, just to kind of, again, trying to regain every ounce of strength in the hamstring. We know that, hamstring strength is really hard for specifically hamstring grafts. Just again, they're weakening that area. So you have to make sure you regain, we've talked about at least minimum 90% strength. And I think paying attention to these details are going to be super important. And again, across the board, you can do a standing hamstring curl. Same thing, they're going to want to externally rotate their foot. A ball hamstring curl, which is really commonly utilized, they're going to want to externally rotate their foot. And ways to address that, again, is to really focus on cueing them and having them understand and explaining this exact reason to them. Is like, hey, the reason why you're rotating outward is because you're trying to take pressure off the inside of your foot. So do your best to try to either keep your foot straight or even rotate your foot a little bit inward to try and target the semitendinosus. And let's utilize the ball hamstring curl, for example. If you feel like they're ready for a single leg, but yet they constantly keep rotating the foot outward, it might be a good idea to kind of focus on bilateral, maybe a banded bilateral, but they're able to keep their foot straight first, and then kind of progress there, and then eventually maybe do a curling in with 2, out with 1, assuming they can keep that foot inward. Again, just really focusing on making sure their foot at least remains in neutral and maybe even into a slight internal rotation to kind of, again, try and hit that semitendinosus a little more. So yeah, just start paying attention to these kind of things, and the more you guys again see, especially ACLs and also specifically hamstring grafts for this video, you're going to start noticing that their foot is going to turn outward. Almost every single one of my hamstring grafts, their foot starts to turn outward, and it just requires a significant amount of cueing in order to kind of get them out of there, or eventually progress to the point where they don't feel like they need that compensation anymore. So yeah, just a little kind of a big, to be honest, not a small one, but a big detail that I feel like is often overlooked. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Thank you for watching today's video. Please feel free to like and subscribe and share it on your social media platforms. If you're interested, I have started an ACL Mastermind group, which is a growing library of content centered around ACL rehab. It has exercises ranging from immediate post-op to late-stage sports-specific movements and everything in between. It's a growing library and currently holds over 250 videos. There's content centered around assessments, movement breakdowns, exercise breakdowns, case studies, and a whole lot more. You also gain access to a private forum where you can engage with like-minded people, ask questions, share research articles, and share resources. If you're interested, please feel free to click the link below. Thank you for watching.